Hi and welcome. My name is Tolan and I'm the co-founder of Productivity Me. In this video, we're going to go ahead and look at the idea of formatting keyboard shortcuts within Microsoft Excel. We'll look at things like launching the format dialog box with Ctrl+1. We'll look at Ctrl+B, Ctrl+I, Ctrl+U for creating bold, italic, and underlined styles of text, as well as a couple other keyboard shortcuts. So with that, let's get started. Now, if you want to follow along, go ahead and open up exercise file Apple Inc. Income Statement 2015. You can find a link to this Excel spread workbook in the description of this video. So, all right, we are working on the second tab, or the second worksheet, that of FB Inc. Income Statement 2015. But you could use really whatever file that you want. So let's say that you were going to launch the format dialog box. Now you can do this by coming up here and going to the font group, clicking this little icon, or the alignment group, clicking this little icon. But there's a specific keyboard shortcut that I use quite often in my workflow, and that is Ctrl+1. Pressing the Control key and the number 1 will allow you to launch this format dialog box, and then you can tab through the individual choices up here, or what you might call tabs, by pressing Control-Tab. So Control-Tab is pretty useful. As we've discussed in earlier videos, you can hit Tab to move up and down, or Shift-Tab to move through, and then Spacebar to make any of those changes. But we want to go to the font group, so we're going to hit Control-Tab a second time. And then here we'll have things like, well, we can make our font a different actual font itself, or I guess I should say the contents of our cell a different font, so we could change it to something like black. We could change it to something crazy like that. Now it's not super legible, so hit Ctrl-Z to undo. But we could also select these individual items, hit Ctrl+1, and then make it something like italic. Or Ctrl-Z, Ctrl+1, we can make it bold. That's definitely an option. Or Ctrl+1, we can make it unbold, just turn it back to regular. We could even change the color to something like blue. Hit OK. Those changes are applied. Now, I often will use specific keyboard shortcuts for making things bold or not bold. If you want to select your text, let's select this text here and then hit Ctrl+B. That would make that bold, or Ctrl+B would unbold specific text. So we want to make this text here bold. Hit Ctrl+B, Ctrl+B will unbold it. Now, if you wanted to make it italic, you could select your text. Maybe we'll select these individual numbers here. We want to make them italic. We hit Ctrl+I. Ctrl+I will cycle between italic or non-italic. You can tell if something is italic because this little icon here will change, even when you use the keyboard shortcut of Ctrl+I. So that can be really useful. Sometimes people like to use underlining. So if you hit Ctrl+U, that would underline your text. Or if you want to use Strikethrough, you can achieve that by using the keyboard shortcut Control and the number 5. Again, many of these keyboard shortcuts that we looked at in this video can be achieved by pressing Ctrl+1 and then selecting, say, the different types of font or font styles that you want. You can go here and you can do different underlines, or things like subscript or even Strikethrough. So Ctrl+5 would undo that. Strikethrough, and then Ctrl+I would undo the italics. So lastly, we want to look at the idea of the F4 function key. The F4 function key will essentially allow you to repeat the last action that you've done, so you can apply formatting. So say we wanted to turn all of these to currency. We'd select those, come here to currency, hit enter, and that would apply currency. Now we could also select this set of data, and then we can press F4. We could select this set of data and press F4. And because that formatting change that we made most recently was changing it to currency, it would change to currency. Now if we were to change it to something like green text, then when we select some text here, and we press F4, it would make that text also green. Notice that the text that was not selected is not changed, or rather not modified in the way that the other selected text was changed. So pretty straightforward set of keyboard shortcuts. Depending on how you use Microsoft Excel and how you think about and modify worksheets, some of these keyboard shortcuts can be really useful and some might not be useful at all. So on that note, go ahead and post your comments, your questions, your ideas, your complaints in the comment section of this video. We'd really, really love to hear from you and kind of think about how to make this video even better. Continuing in this series, in the next video, we will go ahead and look at how to apply specific number formatting. Now, these are keyboard shortcuts that I use on a regular basis. We'll look at things like Ctrl Shift tilde to apply general formatting, or as we just applied, just a little preview, we applied Ctrl Shift tilde, general formatting, or if we want to apply currency formatting, we can do Ctrl Shift 4 to automatically apply that. So we'll look at general formatting, currency formatting, percentage formatting, scientific, date, time, and I think then just the number format. So the number format with commas. These are keyboard shortcuts that I find super useful and would love to have you join us in the next video. So with that, I'll see you again soon, and as always, thanks for watching.